My favorite Sonic game of all time is Sonic Adventure 2. This is probably a controversial opinion, but it just hit me at that right time. I had this laptop tablet hybrid I got for Christmas the year prior. It had 1 gig of RAM, and it could barely watch YouTube, let alone play a game at a consistent frame rate. But 2 games it could play, and play well. It was Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 1 I do like and really enjoy playing. I gotta be honest, Adventure 2 blows it out of the water. And today, I want to talk about the studio behind it all. Sonic Team USA. Let's set the scene. The year is 1993. A young Takashi Iizuka joins the development of Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a game designer. After Sonic 3, he worked on some side games, such as Sonic R and Nights into Dreams. By 1997, he had a real voice in the company, so when Takashi Iizuka pitched the idea for a Sonic RPG, he was fired on the spot. In the very early development stages, the development team were met with a very hard decision. Keep developing for the Saturn, or scrap everything and start developing for the Dreamcast. This decision became a whole lot easier really quick, with the whole Saturn situation. If you're wondering what this prototype looked like, you're in luck. In Sonic Jam, the Sonic World sections are reworked from the original Adventure 1 prototype. It looks really good, I love it. When they were able to fully commit to development for the Dreamcast, they went on a very written-off vacation to the South Americas. While they were there, they saw some cool buildings which they used as inspiration, and for certain areas of the game, they used pictures they took as textures. Back in Japan, they wanted each playable character to be different from one another. Characters like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles were going to be different from the start, but for E102 Gamma and Big the Cat, they wanted them to be different also. Also on the topic of Gamma, he was given a gun because Sonic players at the time wanted guns. They would never try this again. In an attempt to attract non-Sonic fans, they made a game within a game, the Chow Garden. A game where you hatch a little critter out of an egg, raise its stats by feeding it to play in a racing mini game, and become the champion. This is Duck Life but worse. It's getting closer to release, and the hype train is dormant when some leaks come out. Apparently, there's gonna be a Sonic the Hedgehog RPG. How did they figure that out? But then, Sega announced a public unveiling of Sonic Adventure. They had a live stream on the internet, and they sold a VHS at the event. They sold an ad. They did it. When Sonic Adventure was almost done, a group of Sega team employees, including Takashi Iizuka, flew out to San Francisco and set up Sonic Team USA, where they helped some American employees localize the game for the English release. And the game was finished. And when it was finished, the masses collectively said, yeah, it was pretty good. Back in San Francisco, Sonic Team would go there yet again. Not for localization this time. They were making a full game. The size of the team shrunk a little bit this time around. Adventure 1's team was around 50 people. Adventure 2 had 11 people. Shrunk a little bit. A big part of the design of Adventure 2 was shaving down and refining what made Adventure 1 fun. So their first course of action was making an effed up and twisted reflection of Sonic. They wanted to get rid of some of the playstyles from Adventure 1, so they could focus on making them as good as possible. And in the final game, we're left with 3 unique ones. Regular Sonic stages, treasure hunting stages, and shooting stages. And they would never try this again. Also, similar to Gamma in the first game, a character in this game was added by fan request. That character being Dr. Eggman. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time he's been playable, which is cool. So I live in California. If you didn't know already, San Francisco's. And just like Adventure 1, they took a lot of inspiration from the real world. As someone who's been to San Francisco a couple of times, it's cool to see it be translated so well. Something cool they were looking to add but didn't have the time to is branching storylines. It is a shame they never tried this again. When the trailer for Sonic Adventure 2 dropped, the rumor mill was going crazy. The trailer showed off Knuckles and Eggman, but notably, Tails was missing. This made people wonder if he was going to be in the game at all. And Yuji Naka thought it would be funny to mess with the Sonic community by giving indirect answers and at times just outright saying that Tails would not be in the game. Around this time, they would release a demo for the game, and not long after, Sega announced their partnership with Soap, so Sonic could grind. I hear in Sonic Superstars they're adding the ability to Grussel, and the game came out. I'm hesitant to say it's my favorite Sonic game, but it's really high up there. And Sonic Team, in a funny mirroring of events, spent their time after release porting the game to the GameCube as the Dreamcast was terminally ill. After the release of Sonic Heroes, people were wondering what the next Sonic game would be like. Sonic Heroes was quite the departure from the previous Sonic Adventure games, so would this new Sonic game be more like Adventures or Heroes? Sega put out an online poll for which side character would people most like in their own game, and the people chose Shadow the Hedgehog. They chose wrong. Right after the results came in, at a gaming event, they announced Shadow the Hedgehog, even though development did not start for quite a while after. Takashi Iizuka would start brainstorming. They wanted to make a gritty action game, and Shadow was the perfect character to have as a protagonist. Remember that branching path system from Sonic Adventure 2? They fully implemented it here. With only 6 levels per run and 22 levels total, there are a total of 326 different routes you can potentially play through. The actual gameplay is like a mix of regular Sonic gameplay and the shooting segments. Shadow the Hedgehog was originally going to be a rated T for teen game, but as it so happens, as the game was in development, the ESRB updated their rating system, adding the E10 Plus rating. So they went for that instead so they could keep the game basically the same while getting to market to more people. And the game came out, and it was met by fans and critics alike with a resounding Sonic Team USA would have one more game. Knight's Journey of Dreams. But not being bad, it just wasn't great. That was kind of the final nail in the coffin. And damn, I think it really sucks. In retrospect, they didn't make a ton of good stuff, but they still made 1 or 2 really good ones. Sonic Team USA was reabsorbed back into Sonic Team, and all employees moved back to Japan.